The women and the children who walk in our doors are just like everyone else. They don't necessarily show any outward sign that they are homeless or living in desperate conditions.
For the most part, we don't see homelessness and poverty. And what we're beginning to see more and more in Tarrant County is that it's widespread.
If you drive by a Walmart in the middle of the night, you see a car parked under the light, there's a good chance it's a mom and her babies in that car because they don't have any place to go.
That unfortunately sets up that cycle that keeps families trapped in poverty.
Nobody wants to be in a shelter. There's a whole lot of ugly that comes with living at a shelter like that. You see people sitting there sleeping at the bus station or smoking crack. Well, I was very terrified of the thought of living in a shelter, but it was time to face the facts. I was big pregnant with Lexton and Destiny right there on my side, and I had nowhere to live.
Just the challenges of having 3 children and being homeless and not having education and not having transportation, it was too much. And Lexton is the one that we know just by seeing him that he's got significant challenges. Destiny as well had significant behavior challenges.
I had been referred to the Center for Transforming Lives from the shelter I lived in. The Early Head Start program was the very first thing that I got help from the center with. So I got my kids on the list and they started going. And from 0 to 3, the children are free.
She is a happy little girl. She has just turned around and the baby, he's sitting up now and he's happy.
They provided everything, like the diapers, the wipes, formula, everything. So I just was able to look for work and find a job.
I've seen a huge change in her. Just her spirit. She's so proud of herself for being able to go out and buy her first car, to have her household and to buy groceries and have good food for these children.
Every little step was one bit of confidence to build up to being self-sufficient and on my own and out of the shelter.
So I have sickle cell anemia, and it has taken its toll on my body. During the lows, depression starts to set in because I'm away from my kids. I'm wondering if they're eating, what they have on, what does my daughter's hair look like. I can't take care of myself, which makes me feel like I have no control, and it is hopeless. As much as I need to go to the hospital, sometimes it's deflating to go because I know that when I get out, I am coming home to medical debt. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna stay afloat. Do I pay my medical bills or do I pay for my utilities? It's like a cycle. The stress throws me back into being sick.
Her one medical bill could wipe everything out for her. Her not going to the hospital because she's afraid of what's gonna happen with this medical bill could limit her on so many things. Being able to take care of her children or being able to go to work or start her company, it only takes that one thing.
I have a coordinator that I work with. I've been working with her to repair my credit. A lot of the credit repair had to do with the medical debt that I have. She gave me a flyer about some classes that was offered at the Center for Transforming Lives, and I went to my first class, and I am still going to my classes.
She needed a plan to pay down her debt. She also needed some direction in terms of how she could generate income with a disease that fluctuated so much. That right plan was building her skills, paying down her medical debt, and creating a sustainable future through her own trucking business.
I can do it part-time, I can do it full-time, I could do it seasonal. So yeah, that's my trucking company.
I have 2 kids and a daughter that I put in a tough situation. When I was 18 years old, my mom decided that her and her wife wanted to live alone. And since I was the only child in the house, she kicked me out. And my best friend, he came to get me because it was raining. So I left with him. 2 months within the relationship of me living with him, I became pregnant with our daughter. Shortly after that, I started getting beat on a lot. So I went to the shelter and, I didn't want to be there with my baby and I didn't know anybody. So I went back to him and the beatings got worse. I was telling myself, well, you can work through it. Because your idea when you first go in is, I want a family. I want the picture perfect family. it didn't work out that way, you know. I ended up leaving, you know, and try to wing it out as long as I could, being homeless. I slept in people's cars. I slept in little restaurants and hospitals. They would just let me sleep. And that's how I would get my rest. It was like every other day.
She didn't have a stable place to live, and so therefore CPS stepped in and had given her child to someone else.
My daughter got taken and she's never really been back. She's been gone for almost 4 years now.
There was a greater future out here for Shaprell, and all she needed was someone to push her into that place.
Center for Transforming Lives gave me an opportunity of a lifetime.
She came to us, and she came from a homeless shelter. She was really determined to not be in, a homeless situation. If they are working, whether it's part-time or full-time, they pay 30% of their rent, and the Center for Transforming Life will pay the remaining balance.
They gave me a chance to get to self-sufficiency, because I never had it before, where you can have your own place and you have a job that you go to, you look forward to going to. You're not just homeless. It gives you a wonderful feeling where it's just amazing.
She took advantage of going back to school and making things better for herself and her family. That was her number one vision, was having her family together.
I'm actually in the process of getting my daughter back. This wouldn't be possible without Center for Transforming Lives.
I feel like I can never get enough of that place. The people there, the information that they provide, the resources that they have, it gives people a safe space to say, I'm having a hard time.
And it keeps me fighting to keep going. They've been a godsend.
No one else gave me an opportunity. No one else believed in me. And I want my kids to know that you can do anything you want to do in life.
It really is designed to make sure that those families are successful, and it's why 99% of our families are still in their homes after we are done with our work with them.
It's really unlimited. We're training them to fish instead of just giving them the fish. And I think that's so important.
We want to dare to dream that this is possible, so their sons and daughters don't grow up to do this again.